everybody, welcome back to my channel. Hope you guys are doing good. Tonight I decided to do another tea party, a Thursday night tea party, because last week was super fun and I actually really enjoyed just treating myself to that relaxing and fun night, all for me. And so I have put together another one tonight. Like I said before, not sure if I will do this every week forever, but I am going to try to do it every Thursday night during the month of July for Jane Austen July. So first of all, let's take a look at what I have prepared. So let's go through what is on my tea tray tonight. Tonight I am having my tea party in my room because I can't find a quiet place except for my bedroom. So that's where we're doing it tonight. I have made a couple of family favorites. This thing on the left here with the carrots and broccoli and things, that's a veggie pizza, and it's basically just like a bread with cream cheese mixed with like a zesty Italian like salad dressing mix, like dip mix. And then I spread that on there, and then I put carrots, red peppers, and broccoli on that. And then these are just little cucumber appetizers, so sliced bread, and then the cream cheese mixed with garlic and dill, and then cucumber on top with a little dill on top of that. Back there is just a plain scone. I made that from the same recipe that I used last week, but I made them into triangles. And I'm gonna put this lemon curd on them because my secret sister bought me this a really long time ago and I still haven't used it yet. So that is what I will have, plain scone with lemon curd. And then back there is just like a little bowl with sugar in it for my tea because I forgot it last week. And then up here, these are coconut brownies. They are just brownies with, you mix up a can of sweetened condensed milk and an egg and some coconut, and you just spread that on top of baked brownies, and then you just bake them some more until they are toasty. So that is the treat there. And then my cold drink is just mint iced tea. It's mint that I grew in my garden several years ago, and we just dried it and, you know, store it and use it for our mint tea. I was thinking about putting some strawberry in there because I thought strawberry mint sounded really good, but when I went to make it, I just wanted the mint. So there's no sweetener or anything. It's just straight up mint leaves and water. And then my hot tea is English breakfast, which is my favorite hot tea. It's just really plain and simple. So going with plain and simple tonight. My teacup and saucer here, these are from Peter Rabbit collection. Let's see if I can turn it around a little bit here. And it's Wedgwood. And this is from a friend of mine who lives in London. We have never met like in real life, but we have been online friends for going on 20 years almost. So she sent this to me last year for my birthday, which is really thoughtful. And then there's the little plate. And then below that, I've got my little napkin and paper plate from TJ Maxx, or TK Maxx if we're in the UK. And they're just paper, just for pretty. And then my little teapot for milk. So I think I am set and ready to enjoy my tea and enjoy the second episode of the Jane Austen documentary that I'm watching. So yeah, like last week, I am planning on watching the documentary that is on Amazon. It's on BritBox. I'm watching it through Amazon connected to BritBox. I don't know. It's working. Anyway, it's the Jane Austen Rise of a Genius documentary. I think there are 3 parts. So tonight I'm going to watch at least part 2, possibly 3. We'll see. But I'm really enjoying that, actually. I really enjoyed part 1, and I talked about that last week on my Thursday night tea party video. You guys can check it out if you're interested. After that, I will either make a book haul video or I will just chill and read. I am currently reading The Fatal Unpleasantness at Netherfield by Claudia Gray. This is number 5 in the Mr. Darcy and Miss Tilney series. This is like second generation Darcy, and Jane Austen characters, children, basically, is what the story is about. And they are sleuths, and so they solve different mysteries. I will either read that, or this book just came in the mail a couple of days ago. There we go. This way is better. And I've been wanting to read this. I have just been kind of wanting to stop everything and read this. This is Jane Austen and the Clergy by Irene Collins, and a nonfiction, obviously, about Jane Austen and her relation to the church, as well as just the church. I don't know if it's the church in her time or if it's the church in England or exactly where we're going with this, but it sounds so interesting to me. And it came the other day, and so I might tip into this a little bit and then just finish off the night with reading the mystery book. I don't know. So whatever I do, it'll be fun. But before I get off of here, I want to remind you, I do have a giveaway going on all through the month of July. It's the Jane Austen July giveaway. I have several prizes that I'm doing. You guys can find that video in the description box, but make sure that you listen to this video for the keyword, because sometime within this video, I am going to say the keyword is something, and you'll want to make sure that you catch it so that you can enter it into the little link that I have down below. So check out the description box. It will tell you where to go to enter the keyword, to enter the giveaway. Look for the giveaway video if you're not, familiar with anything I'm talking about, so you know what's up. But every video for the month of July, I have inserted a different keyword somewhere in the video. So if you guys watch them and get those keywords, you can put them in the link and enter in to win several different prize packages, all related to Jane Austen. So be sure and go back and look at the other videos that I have put out in July, because starting with June 30th's video, I have put a keyword in every one of those videos. I just haven't always reminded you. So I'm reminding you now. Make sure and go check it out. All right, I'm going to eat my stuff and watch episode 2. The keyword is chocolate. Okay, I have finished episode 2. Loved it. If anybody is curious about content, there's no objectionable content in episode 2 at all. No language, no weird scenes. It's just talking about Jane. And I love the people who are commenting. There is kind of a mixture of actors and actresses and then writers. And so you've got, I can't remember his name, but the guy that played Willoughby in the Sense and Sensibility that has like Emma Thompson and Kate Winslet. So that Willoughby, who is married to Emma Thompson, I'm pretty sure. He is one of the guy who's, one of the people who's commenting. And so I like him. I had forgotten until I watched this that I actually got to see him in real life back in 2013. The first time that I went to Bath, he was there. We were there for the Jane Austen Festival, and he was there. I think it was the 200th year anniversary of Sense and Sensibility being published. And so he came, and anyway, we got to see him and ooh and ah. Anyway, there was him. There was, is it Tamsin Greig? That's how you say it? Tamsin Greig, I think. I love her. I think what I love about her is I love her voice. I love her just soft, ladylike, put together voice. I really actually adore her. The only thing I think I've actually seen her in is Doctor Who, way back in the day, with that one episode where they would implant the thing in your forehead, back in the Billie Piper days. It was this, I don't know, one of the very first episodes, and the thing, and then you could snap and it would open, then snap, and it would close up, right? So she was the doctor who implanted that, and I don't know. Anyway, I really like her. There was just, anyway, it's fun. There was some great, commenters, Paula Byrne and others, but anyway. So I'm enjoying it. I took some notes. So one of the things that I'm liking about this is they are matching up the timeline of Jane's life with the timeline of her writing to show how she, in many cases, was writing about what she was currently going through, right? So in this one, her father is passing away, and she is writing the story of the Watsons. But as her father gets sicker and sicker, and he eventually dies, she abandons the Watsons because it's about a father who is dying and leaving his daughters with nothing. And that's pretty much what happened. And so I think it just kind of got close to home and she abandoned that story. It was sad. It was a sad part to watch, especially if you've lost a father. Just be careful there. Then what else did I write? I thought this was interesting. So, I have heard people say, in fact, I just the other day heard someone say that Jane Austen wrote the first novel. Like I heard that a long, long time ago before I really knew much about Jane Austen. And then I just heard that somebody say that on BookTube the other day. And I'm like, that is so not true, right? We can give you a list of dozens of novels that came before Jane Austen was writing. And so I've always thought that was weird, and I wondered where people got that. Well, in this episode, they talk about how Jane Austen pioneered the idea of free indirect speech. So it's the style that is so obvious to us now, like it's in everything. But say I'm writing a story about two girls and a mother, right? I think they did use an example of Sense and Sensibility when they were showing how she uses this free indirect speech. So you've got, two girls and a mother. All right. So the two girls, you're telling the story of what the two girls are doing. So Eleanor and Marianne are, eating cake and talking about sports or whatever, right? They're just sitting there talking. So that story is saying Eleanor and Marianne are sitting there eating cake and talking about sports, right? But then it switches to talking about their mother. And you're actually getting into the mother's head, right? So it's, but mother thought, how strange that my girl would talk about sports. That doesn't seem like something they're into, right? That would be the free indirect speech. You're getting into the head of the mother. It's still the narrator talking, right? It's not actual quotes from the mother, but it's just, where before we are looking at Eleanor and Marianne from the outside and all we can observe is what we see, right? That's all the narrator is giving us. But then she switches and gives us the perspective of the inner thoughts of the mother, things that we wouldn't be able to know, right? Just by looking at her. And so that whole thing, like we say that all the time, right? That's in all of that's just how people write novels. Apparently Jane Austen pioneered that. And wasn't really a thing, I guess. I don't know. I'm going to have to read some more. And so now I'm curious, of course, to read some other works before her, because I just don't know. I don't know how accurate that is. I hate to argue with the experts, but we'll find out. Read some Anne Radcliffe, read some Fanny Burney, etc., and see if that is actually the case. All right, but I do feel like that maybe it clarifies that idea, right? When people are talking about how Jane Austen was the first novelist, maybe it's actually somewhere on the line someone talked about how Jane Austen really perfected this free indirect speech idea, and the facts got twisted over time. I don't know. Another thing that I think is interesting in both the first and second episodes is the emphasis on Jane's cousin Eliza. She is a character, person. She's a person from Jane's history that I've read about, as, just kind of like secondarily as I've been reading, just kind of like, because I've been reading about Jane Austen, there's her cousin Eliza, but I've never really thought much about her. And this particular documentary really brings out the effect that Eliza had on Jane. Talks about, the way that Eliza influenced her in her independence and maybe in just worldliness. And so there's just a lot in there about Eliza, and that was very interesting to me. It makes me want to pay more attention right next time I'm reading something biographical or whatever and really see how much of Eliza really is in that story. And then the last thing I thought was interesting was they talked about her deliberate use of the name Mansfield in Mansfield Park and how it referred to Lord Mansfield. It was very political. She was making a very political statement there. And I'm not going to go into a whole lot of details because I'm going to give you guys spoilers. But if you don't want to watch the thing and you want to know what I'm talking about, look up Lord Mansfield and just why he was popular during the politics of that time. That was really interesting. something that we wouldn't pick up on now necessarily. Just the average, especially the average American, we would not pick up on the allusion, what the name in Mansfield Park is actually alluding to. But to the people of her time, it would have been politically obvious. So it's very interesting to think of the fact that Jane Austen may have been making even more of a splash on her society than we think, than we could imagine at this time, with so much changing and so many little things that we don't understand anymore. So yeah, totally enjoying this documentary. I will probably save episode 3 for next Thursday when I have another tea party because it's just kind of, I don't know, it's becoming a thing. But yeah, so far episodes 1 and 2, I would highly recommend. They are very good. I am thinking of Jane in a different light. I'm seeing her in a different light. I'm being reminded of how very young she was. She died at 41. Right now in the episodes, she's at 39. I'm 46. And I also have the things that mature you, like having been married for 28 years, having 9 children, having gone through motherhood, having gone through all of the things in a marriage and in mothering that definitely grows you up. It's very interesting to think of her as so young and so, just so much of things that can happen in life really hasn't touched her and won't. They won't touch her. So anyway, interesting thoughts. I'm enjoying it. I thought about making a book haul video tonight, but I am exhausted. I think I'm going to clean up and probably just read the rest of the evening and make my book haul video tomorrow. So I hope everybody is doing well. I hope you enjoyed this video, and I will see you soon. Bye-bye.